What about as if somebody approached you as a running mate? Is that something that you still leave open as a possibility?
Everything is still open. I mean, I haven't closed doors because I found long ago that that's not a smart thing to do. Then you trying to figure out how to open them when they come knocking. So I'm not looking for anything. I'm content with what I'm doing. That's what I plan to do. But I'm not going to make some definitive categorical statement that later would have to be explained if there was something later to explain, even though right now I have no reason to think that there would be anything to explain.
You said the best challenger against President Obama now is already here. When are you going to endorse someone? Is it going to be after the nomination, or will it be during the primaries?
It could well be after the nomination. I don't feel any pressure or hurry to do it. I think right now the Republican voters in the primary will make the decision, and they'll make a good one. It'll be a tough process, and somebody will come out of it. Part of my issue is that a lot of those guys are very good friends of mine, and I know them well. And so to pick one means that I don't pick some of the others, and that'd be tough for me right now.
What about Governor Palin? She's going around. Do you think she's going to run?
I don't know.
This is just
I'm anxious to see like everybody else, but I do not know, and couldn't predict.
You talked in there about the difficulty of any Republican winning. Was that the biggest factor in your decision?
No, it wasn't, because I feel like that if I had run, I would have had a really good opportunity. Nothing certain. But there were a lot of reasons that went into it, and I've kind of gone through them before, and that's really what it was about. Just, deep within me, and I think it's going to be a very brutal process, but don't rule anything out for the future.
With Fox, with Glenn Beck leaving Fox, there's obviously there's an opening there for the role he has there. You've got an audience with your show. Have you talked to Fox about having a greater role, or is that something you even want?
No, I mean, right now I've got the daily radio commentaries that I'm doing, and I'm doing the weekend television, writing, more books hopefully planned out there in the future, a lot of speaking, running Huckabee, involved with some projects both in higher education and with children's history. Got a lot going right now, and Fox hasn't discussed it with me, and I have no reason to think that they will. They're happy with what I'm doing on the weekend, and that's probably where they'll keep me.
And you're not interested in expanding what you're doing at this point with them?
I'm just taking everything day at a time, doing what I'm doing, trying to do it well, and enjoying it.
What do you hope this book does?
It's been I think a good opportunity for me to get a message out about how government should be functioning. And I've been very pleased with the response to it, not only from just casual readers, but even people who aren't necessarily fans of mine, who would read the book and say that it was pragmatic, that it made sense, and that it was written in a way that was simple to understand, which was my goal, and that it helped explain some of the big issues that we face in the country, like the deficit, the debt, dealing with terrorism, how we're handling such things as the Middle East, which we're not handling it very well, healthcare, education. So it would take on a lot of the issues and try to make it so that people could see that there are ways to fix these things if we would apply some simple principles to doing it.
Talk about being in this crowd today. You were saying you were wishing that this guy introduced you, come along with you everywhere else. Just having this hometown feel, of course, you're being from Arkansas.
Yeah. Well, one thing, the Clinton School is a remarkable treasure for the state and really for the country. And one of the reasons that it's been so successful and so effective is because the leadership that Skip Rutherford has brought to it. And I don't say that just to flatter him for the nice introduction, but the truth is, Skip has been just as interested in bringing Republican speakers to the Clinton School as he has Democratic speakers. And I think that's to his credit. He's not a person who only wants to have a platform for people who agree with the Democratic Party or with maybe Bill Clinton's presidency, but he's brought people from all over the spectrum, whether it's Bob Dole, I'm trying to remember, I think he brought Andrew Breitbart in recently. In other words, he's really, I think, done a remarkable job. I don't know of anyone in the country who's worked harder to bring a real sense of balance to the programs. And that's beneficial not only to the students at the school, it's beneficial to the community, and I believe to the political discussion in a broader sense.
What are your chances of changing your mind about running for the presidency?
I'm not even thinking about changing my mind right now. I'm just focused on what I'm doing and not looking at anything else.
You mentioned how partisan the political climate is. Do you
Yeah.
think Fox, the network itself, exacerbates that a little bit?
No more so than any other network. I think Fox is generally, its news division is extraordinarily fair. I mean, I'd put our news guys up to anybody's. Brett Baer, Shepard Smith, Bill Hemmer, the people who do news. You know, we have programming division, which is on the other side of a concrete wall. And what I do and what Sean Hannity does is under the programming division. Nobody pretends that it's, you know, an objective approach, because it's not, and we don't even pretend for it to be. What I find amazing is that you have other networks. For example, you've got MSNBC, and you have people who are clearly partisan. Chris Matthews, who was a Democratic political operative. On ABC, you have George Stephanopoulos, who I'm very fond of and like a lot. But George was one of Dick Gephardt's aides and then worked for President Clinton. So somehow that we make it like they're objective, but the Fox people aren't, that's nonsense. And the Fox News people, who actually do the news part, I think are as fair and good and professional as journalists as I can point to. And, you know, I couldn't even tell you how they feel about me or some of the other people on the channel. They may not agree with us at all, because they don't express their own opinions. The programming is different. You know, we have programs that are editorial in nature, just like the editorial page of a newspaper.